Hi, we're Margot and this is James, and we're from Phoeniks, Nunawading showroom. We're doing a demo today on the Brunner-Anliker. We're going from the showcase benchmark model, which is the Anliker L, to the GSM 5-star that does even more than what the L does. And then we're also got the XL, the larger volume.
We have different cuts here with fine dice, fine slice to julienne, and to fine grating with the chocolate. We're really excited about this product. Can't wait to show everybody what it can actually do.
So we're just about to do the potato cutting, French fries.
And all the actions, rather than having buttons, stop, start, pulse and stuff like this, like on my machines, nothing happens unless you push the lock on. And then, you know, you can't get hands down there. And if this is up, the machine won't go on, and then only goes on when it's inserted, so that you can't, again, put your fingers in anywhere. So completely straight. Yeah. Whereas on the other machines, it gets slightly with a bend, I think so. It's a two-part blade. So again, pushing through like the grid onto the bottom of here, and then the top part sits on there, so coming in. So they're all easily insertable, and shows you how that goes. So it sits on there, so it's just a feeder part, and then it's all with that cross key. Just slide them on. Yeah. I guess some herbs would be a great one to show as well. It's great for doing tabbouleh, something like this, mass producing it. It hardly takes any pleasure, you just got to more or less just feed it through, and you can see there's no bruising with that. Yeah. And then there's an even finer one. We can go with the F1 where it takes it even just that little bit finer. Let me show you some of that. Really, there's no bruising or anything on there.
And the good thing about with the small motor also is you don't have to really use your force with feeding it. Yeah. And also because of the ergonomic way that it's styled and positioned, yeah, you don't use all your energy, so. But that's super fresh.
Yeah, it doesn't look bruised.
So the advantage of the GSM 5 is you can either do a waffle cut, you can do brunoise, and you can also do a spaghetti cut. So a lot of people don't necessarily have the skilled workers in their kitchens anymore, so this machine actually helps to reduce that need for that, and also it reduces wastage and increases yield and increases longevity of your product and more consistent cutting of the product too, and also takes a bit of tiredness out, and also HACCP and OH&S problems with people cutting themselves by using a machine.
Not bad. That's one of the smaller ones, and then it goes right up to a large dice as well.
So this is brunoise now. This is what we're doing.
Again, it's the two blade. You can even see in there, like you do it back, there's like no bleeding at all when you usually cut that thing. And then like such a small dice, follow it up with onion and then avocado or something, you got your salsa literally within minutes. Yeah, like you were saying, I wish that was around when I had to cut brunoise.
Yeah, we didn't have RSI cut anymore.
Yeah.
And it's so consistent.
The consistency of it is great. Also, because the clicking
Yep.
Even looking at the tomatoes, there's nothing there to say that it's pinched, it's caught. As you'll find, even with some of them, it's just a little bit of flap on the side that hasn't broken through properly.
And then wastage, I mean, you're going to get these last little pieces, but you're putting through, that was for 3 tomatoes, you're putting through 20 kilos of tomatoes. That is still what you got, all you're going to get left is that the one little piece of like skin.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So everything is pushing it through. At the end of the day, from 20 kilos, 100 kilos, you're only going to get that left from it.
Yeah.
That's your only, because you know that's the blades pushing that last little bit through. But yeah.
Will we do a banana?
Yeah. Dice again.
No, we'll do a slice.
Yep. So maybe the F1. Thank you. Containers here. Again, some slices in there. Obviously the longer slices, it just falls over at the end, but yeah. Yep.
Again, I mean, there's no hatching.
No. Maybe there's something softer than these reasonably ripe bananas, but yeah.
Imagine that, putting that through on a flan. It's all nice and consistent, even, same size.
So like if I did a F1, which is one of the finest blades. I think the sickle blade that you saw earlier, the all metal one, is 1.5 millimeters. So this one is 1 millimeter cut. So feed your strawberries into here. The strawberries. Yeah. So being basically they started out as a blade company first, making the blades, and then they've adapted the machine around those blade making skills. So it's the blades is really what is into its the shape of the blades.
Yeah.
And the cleanup is, but also blade would come out, take these out. Everything is machine washable, so you can put it in the dishwasher. It's the same as, all the blades can go into the dishwasher. So whole unit. This part can all go into the dishwasher. Just spray and wipe this part around, and then, it's all cleaned up. Would you like to have a go? Yeah. I'll let you just start it from the beginning if you want to. We won't do the nuts, we can do gherkins, or maybe chilies. We'll do some fine chilies so we can. Usually what I tell them to do is handle it where the blades are not, and then you can just line up those. Yeah. And then make sure it's sitting on there, and then this goes down. Literally, it doesn't need, so you kind of like that when it's gone in there, it doesn't need that much pushing really, it's just kind of you just easing it along. Yeah. Obviously, these machines are built to do kilos and kilos, so that last little bit where you get the long bits, so like that, is only going to be there when you finished all your 50 kilos of chilies or whatever it was. Yeah. So it even, holds in the, the seeds and yeah. Yeah. You can literally leave that there for all day long, for hours and hours. So imagine how, if you're making big batches of tabbouleh, you can make it at the beginning of the week, keep it in the fridge, and you got it. This machine, obviously, doesn't do those last 3 cuts on there. So if it's not something, because so obviously the entry model, but the motor and everything inside is exactly the same. Everything. The only difference is the feeder. And then you've got the larger chute. So if you're just doing some of the other cuts, you don't really want a brunoise or spaghetti or something. That's not something you're using. Those 3 cuts. This is your model to go to. So the difference is you just place everything in here. Imagine the barman getting his hands on this thing rather than borrowing your knives. And then rather than the plunger, or you're doing this side one, it's just, and you're just pressing on it lightly. So, waffle cut lemons and limes for a buffet item. They're going on there.
Why?
Yeah.
That's okay. I love the hair.
Yeah. And again, only that small amount of wastage in the end. But then, as I say, you put in 100 kilos, continuous feeding, that's all you're going to get in the end.
What are we going to do now, James?
The BR3, I think it is. Yeah.
Okay.
If we do that, I'll do some onions there for as well.
Longer.
And possibly we'll do carrot through the other one. And so what I did wrong on that one was I didn't put it through the star. So you got that kind of longer cut if you're not putting it through the star nozzle.
Can we just talk about the actual agitator for the camera?
Yeah, sure.
Just to show how it agitates. Yep.
So with it, we're achieving the Brunner cut, obviously through the toothed blade. It goes through the star nozzle, and it's called the star nozzle because as you're feeding it through, the blade's going one way, but the star aligning on the inside goes the opposite direction. So as it's feeding for that and then dicing it, as you'll see here, some onion.
So a nice little brunoise, made by the machine and not by a person.
Yeah.
It's so fine.
Well, having to try and cut that by hand. And if it was ever slightly off, we're like, not do it again. And as I was showing before, so you got the minimum wastage. There. So usually if you're putting for 100 kilos, that's still going to be the same amount that's left on the machine. Right. All of this can come out. And put into the dishwasher.
Well, we got to a stage in our catering business where we had inconsistency in our cutting and we didn't have enough labour. Enough people, which is always a problem everywhere. And so we actually bought one of these machines, and there was one designated person each morning that would just cut. Everybody else was off doing their own thing. And it was fantastic. And as we've said before, the tomatoes were still fine the next day, and different cut products were still fine the next day.
Would you like to have a go? No? Any particular cut? You can choose what cut you want to do, and then tells you the blade to use, but
maybe a Brunner.
For the dice. This size was this size, the W10. This was the W6, which is the finest one. Do you want to do the smaller one? Yeah. But what we usually do is I would speak to the chef or something, and then work out what they're going to use the most, and see if we can, double up, triple up on certain blades, so they're not getting way too many, one blade for one job, So that like I can, especially with the slicing blades, they can get across different things. Yeah, what they actually use. So like a lot of Asian kitchens, they might do a lot of the slicing. So I go with either the F1 or the SM blades, which is the sickle blades. We'll do the W8. So with these ones, so you got the choice. I think Margot's got around there. It's just a single little small blade. Here. So like this can go into either one machine. They both fit into there. And then these blades, you get them because there's your cutting edge, and these are really sharp. So you just try to line them up. And I use that, and then let gravity do the rest of the work. Is the fact of find it, and let it drop back. So it's in there.
Did you get the feeder? You haven't got the feeder out?
The feeder's in, yeah.
Yep.
I took it off the other one. So it all just lines up. This part goes in. You can see that there's a little key there that holds it, and it fits into that shape there. And then there's no start, stop, pulse buttons. Everything is controlled by basically the lock in here. So push down into that to start it. Yeah, and then you can't get fingers in there to get anywhere near the blade. And if this is up, it doesn't work. So that's the safety part of it.
Okay.
So you can't get fingers in there. That has to be down to that. So tomatoes, I would probably feed through onto this side. Go ahead. Let's just push down on that.
And you don't have to push too
this
hard.
Part.
Okay.
And you really don't have to put any force on it. It's just more or less just helping it feed through. Yeah. And then if you wanted to put cucumber instead on the top, you probably just use that one. And then plunger. Yeah. And literally, look, you can see there's no liquid, no bleeding. All those enzymes are all still in the tomatoes.
Yeah.
Nice and consistent.
I know, it's just...
You could feed the onion through there next, and you've got your salsa all in one go straight away. You can almost do a salsa a la minute, straight.
You could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the shallots, which obviously in a lot of Asia, this was leek. So this is kind of like a thicker one that you can maybe use it in cooking and things. This one, and the flat parts of it, and then so I cut it down through there. I'll show you. And kind of take out the center part. And I remember I used to use it as a garnish, and then we deep fry it to put it as a garnish on the top. And you kind of just roll it.
That makes sense.
And then you can just feed it. Yeah. So it's a two-part blade, obviously with a grid part of it,
Yep.
which will go there. Sits on the top. Straight cut.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And again, probably minimal moisture loss.
No.
Those.
Yeah. So I've got those starches running out, but I mean, even those, the last little bit, but the first part I count was maybe an hour ago or more, and they're not starting to discolour at all. Or go brown. They're next to the lemons, but there's no lemon juice on them.
And you could do, it's very good for the Asian market too, with your carrots and zucchinis and what have you. So that's what we call the waffle cut. And that's where it goes through the star feeder.
Right.
Parmesan can be sliced. So people are loving like the Lebanese markets for Guzman,
Go ahead.
Gomez, what have you, making their nice shredded slaws and what have you.
But yeah, Guzman and Gomez, they make with their fine diced tomato and an onions and everything, so they make their pico de gallo. They can actually call it the pico de gallo machine. And they put like 8 kilo boxes, about 5 or 6 boxes to an average store per morning, and it literally takes them about,
minutes.
yeah, I think one 8 kilo box just takes just over 7 minutes or something to put one box through. And that's why, I mean, they pride themselves on basically saying everything's prepared on the day rather than pre-prepared stuff. So they make their pico de gallo every single morning for the years, yeah.
Is there any food products that it's not suitable for?
It's
Do
not,
you think it's less
Like-
effective?
we'll just do really, really big squares, dice. It doesn't,
Right.
yeah. You need the bigger
Effective, really
machines.
big square.
Well, if you were doing, like 22 plus, like really big.
Maybe fruits and
dice.
stuff like that if you're doing fruit
Right.
salad. If you wanted it a bit smaller, there's probably about that dice you can put through it. But if you're getting any bigger, yeah, it's probably it's quick to do it by hand.
Yeah.
That kind
Is
of
there
chunk.
any food that it doesn't, the blades don't cut through?
I guess
Oh,
meats,
meat.
raw meats and stuff like this, it's just too soft
Yeah.
and so.
It does do poached chicken, partially
Yeah.
frozen, and it does squid frozen.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a fish shop that's bought it, absolutely chomps through it. But yeah, just your softer meats it's not going to
No.
work.
Yeah, well, I'll put some lettuce through in a moment. Oh. That's with the avocado. It's not mushing it up or anything like that. That was quite a ripe avocado. Look at that. I wish I'd had one in David Jones when I used to work with David Jones, and we used to do so many avocado toasts, especially in Bondi. And but I used to get the wire racks on top of a pot, and you just push the avocados through. And that was the only thing I worked out to do, because we used to go for about 8 or 9 boxes a day of avocados, or trays of avocados. So I mean, this is doing exactly the same job.
Right, and now we should do some we'll do some shredding.
Yeah, maybe with the iceberg, so like a
Yeah.
chiffonade.
What do you want? SM 2.5?
2.5, yeah.
Is the green a standard or is there a colour range?
No, not colour ranges. I mean, the green is, this is the entry model of the model types, but both these motors are exactly the same as I was saying before, but
It's the outside,
yeah.
the
it's just-
fiberglass on the outside.
Yeah.
To
But is
the,
the green a standard?
It is
or
a
standard.
It's
Yeah.
a standard.
yeah,
So like
yeah, it's good.
a McDonald's
Yeah,
style
we'll take
thing,
this to shows.
maybe real fine chiffonade to put on top of a burger. Although they didn't dice them anymore, do they? They just put like big pieces. Yeah. We can go even thinner than the 1mm, the F1.
Go on.
Yeah. So that was 1.5. This is the 1 mil. F1, so 1 millimeter. That's going to keep it nice and crisp as well for a good period of time. Yeah. We might do the almonds. this is a bit of a more bulk machine. I guess these little bits is when I'm not pushing it through probably more onto this side. But yeah.
Does this model here, does that come, can you reorientate the, going it's not.
Onto the other side.
Yeah.
I guess for what, for more of a left-handed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, right, yeah.
It's a stupid question.
No, it's not. No, but that's the only way.
One you can push on side.
Well, yeah, this one is ergonomically, yeah, so you push both sides. Never been asked that question about that.
This is one I haven't done before, actually. So we'll, thing was the gherkins. I just picked them up.
We should do some shaved parmesan because people often struggle with that.
Yeah. Yeah, so we'll do the shaved first and then we'll put it to the challenge and do a diced and see what comes out. Is that too fine, do you reckon? We'll do a bigger dice. Yeah.
I'm not trying to trip you up, I was just interested to see what it can do.
Yeah. That's the shaved. Obviously, it keeps that kind of square thing because it's the piece I bought and that's the shape of it. But like, if it's more of a curve, and then you get more natural looking shaved piece of parmesan. So this is the first, so we'll see how it goes. Yeah. Not bad. A small dice.
That's all right.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Especially for the cheese.
Yeah.
Exactly. It would just be, I mean,
Like the larger dice, if you wanted to do like cubed cheddar and stuff like this. Yeah.
well, it's just good to see how it manages cheese, because just for, for salads and things.
A cheddar or a soft cheese.
I think the brie, a brie is no more different consistency than a tomato.
Yeah.
A softened tomato is one of this. I mean, because it's, not, I guess it's not so much a thick blade. I mean, the only wastage you're going to get is there. I guess the blade warming up, I've never really experienced it with it. So like, obviously if you're putting through 100 kilos of cheese and you're feeding it through, that blade spinning so much, whether that's warming up, I've never really seen it warm up that much.
And then with regards, is there a tool or something that would help train you once
Yeah,
the blades get...
comes with a little brush around the corner, isn't it?
Yeah. And other tricks to get rid of it is to put it actually in a combi on steam, or even a carrot.
You just bang it first, and then you run it under the tap, and then with the literally like a washing up brush, you just push it through. Yeah, but I mean, like you're putting through 100 kilos, that's still the same wastage you're going to get, and I mean that was like 100 grams. So like 100 grams or 100 kilos, that's the only bit of waste you're going to get at the end. Yeah.
Yeah, so major differences, the slower motor, the slightly differently cut blades, so you get that cell structure retention. So it's going to give you better quality, better long-lasting vegetables. 5 years on motor and gears.
Five, yeah.
Yeah. Anything else? Any counter arguments on other products or?
Just with, there was one we did at, might be in Haldy actually, just, it was years ago. Just in terms of like for the larger, for the bulk production with carts or trays or things that can sit underneath it, so when you're really in high production.
Your deeper GNs.
Right.
That's what
Yeah.
I always recommend, especially with the XL because it flies everywhere.
Yeah.
So you need to have a higher container.
And that's what Guzman and Gomez
Yeah.
use. They use the really deep
Just
gas
the
trays.
big,
Yeah.